My elder sister Maeve and I had been best friends all our lives, even though we were different in each and every aspect. I was a total tomboy walking around in baggy clothes, while my sister was a princess who knew every detail about the latest fashion and makeup. I was inclined towards sports, video games, and computers, while my sister was all about pageants, looks, and all. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button and activate the notification bell, and soon you will win the lottery. Trust me, it really works. She was the perfect daughter, while I was the troublemaker. So much so that I was pretty famous around the school for beating some boys up for breaking Maeve's heart. Yeah, she was like that, going from one boy to another, even after having her heart broken multiple times. Meanwhile, for me, I wasn't interested in dating stuff. Coming to the point, we were different, exact opposites, even in terms of looks. And whenever we met new people, they would not believe that we were sisters. One of you is surely adopted, most people said, but we didn't care about that. Our love for one another was infinite. One time the prom was arriving soon, and even though I was not interested in going, Maeve forced me. "Come on, Avery, I need you there," she pleaded, because she wanted me to witness her becoming the prom queen. "Your presence means the most to me," she added, so I agreed to go. Around that time, I was learning coding and hacking, so I convinced some of my friends to come to the prom night. We made a plan to not stay for the party, but rather break into the school's computer lab, because that was our thing. We were the troublemakers after all. So the night of the prom finally arrived, and Maeve got dressed in a beautiful gown that cost hundreds. Meanwhile, I got into my regular baggy clothes. "You're not going to the prom in that, are you?" Maeve asked as she was doing her hair. "Yeah," I nodded. "No way!" she shouted and took out a beautiful black dress and forced me to wear it. She also put some makeup on me, and then we were ready to go. After reaching the school, Maeve ran towards where the party was, as it was her thing. However, to me, it seemed pretty boring, so I waited for my friends outside instead. Soon my friends also arrived, and we headed towards the computer lab. The coast was clear that day, and we didn't even have to worry about the guards, as everyone was either at or around the party. We sneaked into the computer lab and started messing up with the computers. Right then, one of my friends, Eric, mentioned something about the deep web. Deep web? What about it? I asked, being all curious. "They say it's the dark side of the internet where all the illegal trade and activities take place." Oh yeah, just last night I watched a YouTuber getting a mystery box from the deep web for interesting content. There were all creepy things inside. Another friend added, "We should check it out," I said as I was excited about the mysterious and creepy part. But my friends told me that it was too risky to get into the dark web from the school's server, as we could get in serious trouble if anyone found out about it. So we planned and agreed on meeting at a friend's house that weekend and checking it out from there. However, waiting was not my thing and I was just too curious, so I decided to check it out as soon as I got home. After that, we went back to the party and I made it just in time for my sister to be crowned the prom queen. I took about 100 pictures of her for her Instagram and some videos for the stories and danced for a while. Then our dad came to pick us up and we headed home. As soon as I reached home, I didn't waste a single minute and I ran up to my room to start digging up information about the deep web. Not to brag, but since I was all computer smart, it didn't take me too long to figure everything out. So without waiting any longer, I just downloaded the required browser, installed a bunch of virus protection, and covered my webcam just to be secure. Then I went on a dive into the world of the deep web. I went on and clicked on a link called Buy and Sell. Then I clicked on another mysterious link without any name and then clicked on another and then another. Like that, I clicked on a chain of such mysterious links, not knowing I was going deeper and deeper. And the deeper I went, the darker it became. After clicking about 9 mysterious links without knowing where exactly it led to, I stumbled upon an advertisement that shocked me and most probably scarred me for life. Shockingly, I saw something familiar on one of the pages as I was scrolling. There was a picture of my sister Maeve as a child. And most importantly, it had the label "For Sale" on it. I couldn't believe it at first, so I clicked on the picture to zoom in. I even rushed into my parents' room at that hour to take out the photo book of when we were kids. My mom and dad were fast asleep on the bed, meanwhile I was tiptoeing around their room. There was a shelf beside her bed where the photo album was, so I quietly reached for the photo book and picked it out. But then I felt a mosquito bite on my hand, and I got startled and dropped the book, and of course it made a loud thud. Oh my god, I thought. I was afraid I had woken up my mom and dad. Right then, my mom called out in a sleepy voice, "Who's there?" "It's me, Mom. I just needed something. I'm going back. You can go back to sleep," I said and hurriedly left the room. Thank God I didn't wake my dad, I said to myself in relief, because otherwise, he would have carried out a thorough investigation of why I was in their room, that was for sure. It was his nature. He was like some Sherlock Holmes. My mom was not anything less. She was very observant and analytical, but she was not as serious as Dad. So I took the photo book to my room and opened it up to look for the picture. And you wouldn't believe that it was an exact match. The first picture of Maeve as a baby was the same picture that was on the deep web. However, the thing was that it was only her picture that was a match, because all the other information there was different. Her name there was Rosalie Baker, and it said her cultural background was mixed. I didn't know what to think or make of it, so I just stared at the advertisement on the deep web for a long time. But suddenly, I heard someone coming downstairs towards my room. I panicked but quickly took screenshots of the advertisement page in the deep web, all 20 of them. After that, as I was turning off the computer, my mom opened the door to my room. "What are you doing up so late?" she asked without coming in. "Oh, just some schoolwork," I forced a smile. "I am done though, so going to bed now," I added. "Okay, good night then," she replied, closed the door, and went back. I too went to my bed, lied down, and started thinking about what I had just found out. Is Maeve actually Rosalie? Is that her real identity? I thought. Gradually, I started thinking about how she ended up with our family and wondered why my parents had never said a thing about her being a child sold on the internet. I constantly thought about why they kept it a secret, and then my attention went to another one of their secrets, their jobs. We had no idea about what our parents' jobs were. They never told us even when we asked. And then it hit me. Did my parents put up the advertisement? I wondered, and for a moment I even thought if my parents were child traffickers. But then I figured how ridiculous of a thought it was. I will surely get to the bottom of this, I said to myself, and finally went to sleep. The next few days I got really busy with my school stuff, and even though I wanted to investigate the case of my sister's real identity, I had no time for it. There was so much school work piled up, so I had to make that the priority. But around that time I noticed something. Maeve was acting really different. She was always happy, cheerful, and polite, but around that time, she started becoming kind of rude. She even started skipping dinner with the family, and because of that, my mom got really concerned. "Why is Maeve behaving so cold towards us?" my mom asked me one day during lunch. "I've noticed that too." "So weird," I replied, but Mom gave me a suspicious look. "Avery, did you do something to offend her?" she said, and it was right of her to suspect me because I was always the one making trouble, but I didn't remember saying anything to her at all. We had barely spoken after the prom night, so I had no clue about what was going on with her, so I took it upon myself to go and ask her about it. I went towards her room and just barged in without even knocking. "Okay, you seriously need to tell me what is going on," I asked first thing as soon as I reached. Weirdly, she started throwing things at me without saying anything, and thank God they were just fluffy stuffed animals. After she was done throwing the stuffed animals at me, she just sat down and started crying. I asked her what was wrong again, and finally she told me what was up. She told me that she saw the screenshots of the advertisement from the deep web. "I don't know what to think. The people whom I have loved all my life are liars, and can possibly be my kidnappers or traffickers," she said, and cried even more. "Might be kidnappers, Avery, or traffickers. They might sell us any time. I'm scared," she added. After hearing all that, I got scared too, but I tried to be reasonable and consoled her. "Let's not make any assumptions, Maeve. We should ask them directly," I told her, and she agreed, so we went to the living room to confront our parents. But when we reached there, they weren't there. The living room was empty. We just saw a note on the table and heard a van speed off from in front of our house. Quickly, I picked it up and started reading the note to see what it was about. "We have kidnapped your parents. Turn in Rosalie for your parents' safety," it said. We were scared out of our guts. The note had Maeve's real name on it, so we were sure that it was written by the real traffickers, but we had no clue about what to do. We just stood there looking at each other horrified. Now, we have to make a decision that could determine whether our parents make it or not. What do you suggest we do? Should we call the police or pursue the traffickers on our own? Let us know your ideas down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.